Friday, October the 2nd. I said yesterday that we were going to look at how God decided it was time to whittle down Gideon's army. And so in Judges chapter 7, we read this. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many warriors with you. If I let you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. Therefore, tell the people, whoever is timid or afraid may leave this mountain and go home." So 22,000 of them went home, leaving only 10,000 who were willing to fight. To me, the story of Gideon is much like the story of Peter in the New Testament. We kind of identify with Gideon, and there's so much about this story that we can see in ourselves, in just the way that Peter is impulsive and Peter fails and Peter wants to do the right thing, but then he gets it wrong. So it is with Gideon. We can see in his story how he wants to do what God wants him to do, but he wants to be so certain. He's tested the angel of the Lord. He's obeyed commands at night, in the dark. He's laid out one fleece and then another fleece. And then he's called out to the peoples for soldiers to come and fight. And 32,000 of them answered the call. But God's right, isn't he? Considering the history of Judges where the people of Israel do evil in God's sight and then get themselves into trouble and then call out to God and he rescues them, but then they do evil in God's sight all over again, you just know that if they'd gone into that battle with 32,000 men, that's my alarm. With 32,000 men, they'd have turned round at the end of it and said, "We did it." And the whole point was that God was going to do it. But listen to how God whittles down the army. The Lord told Gideon, "There are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not." When Gideon took his warriors down to the water, the Lord told him, "Divide the men into two groups. In one group, put all those who cup water in their hands and lap it up with their tongues like dogs. In the other group, put all those who kneel down and drink with their mouths in the stream." Only 300 of the men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. The Lord told Gideon, "With these 300 men I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send all the others home." So Gideon collected the provisions and ram's horns of the other warriors and sent them home. But he kept 300 men with him. So from 32,000 to 300, that was surely going to prove they could only win the battle because God was on their side. But why those 300? Well, I always look at it like this. God was looking for those that were paying attention. Paying attention is a phrase I use quite often because I think it's so appropriate in today's times. There are battles going on around us all the time. Political battles, battles with disease, battles with sin, battles with distraction, battles with temptation. And God wanted to see who was watching out not just for themselves, not just for their own thirst, not just for their own need, but who was also having an eye for the situation around them, to be ready to fight, to be ready to defend, to be ready for whatever God was going to call them to do and when God was going to call them to do it. So my thought for today is this. Which group would you be in? How good are you at paying spiritual attention? Do you think of your own needs first? Are you quick to do what you think needs to be done? However practical it is, however thirsty you might be, or have you got one eye on the circumstances around you, on your friends on either side of you, on the situation you're going through right now, so that you are ready at a moment's notice to be called on by God to do the right thing at the right time to win whatever little battle God has put in front of you? Or would you have gone home? Maybe just because you were afraid. Fair enough, they were honest. Or maybe God knows you're the one he wants in his battle. Pay attention. It could be today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.